Hey folks, it's Dan. So we're here today trying to figure out, should you refinance or not? How exactly do you refinance? So I first want to say, guys, I've been doing this for a long time. And I have to say, right now reminds me a little bit like 2000, or not, I won't say 2008. I'll say more like during COVID. And here's what I mean. And let me know if you guys feel the same way. Is it seems like people are buying everything. Let me just give you a tidbit of what I'm talking about. So we have the federal government. They just shut down. This is day 2 of the government shutdown. So what's going on with the markets right now? If you go over to here, and I watch CNBC and all the financial markets all day long, you wouldn't know that there's a shutdown. Here's what it looks like. The Dow Jones is up. S&P's a record high. NASDAQ record high. I think the Russell 2000's at a record high. You got the VIX at 16, which doesn't really mean the markets are, concerned about anything. You go to crypto, you got that risk trade on. It's 120,000. I think this might be a record high. And you got oil, I think, is down as well. So, it can't be any better. But then you go and it's like, all right, the government shut down. How long is this going to last? So I guess what I'm trying to say is maybe let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with rates. So let's just look at the market today on the bond market. Right through here, we really have no data. The market's up 4 ticks. Not really going to see mortgage rates change at all. Next couple of days, we don't have any news that's coming really from the government. So, the Federal Reserve's flying blind. The market's flying blind right now. So here's what I want to talk about today. There's a lot of people that are sitting there just saying, I don't know if it makes sense to refinance. And so I just want to give you guys the facts today. The first thing I want to talk about, and I want you guys to participate if you guys would today. Let me know if you think the government's going to be shut down for a long time. And the longer, the worse the news is going to get. Because right now, with all the financial markets, all you hear is people saying, well, they've been there, done that, so they'll be back here soon. And I think that's what's going to happen. Once you get people starting to miss a paycheck or two, it's going to put a lot of pressure onto our officials to kind of figure this one out. So here's what I'm going to talk about. We'll get into does it make sense to refinance. Let's go through some of the data. So if you guys want me to run some of these things for you, be happy to do this. But the main purpose is to just explain to you, can you refinance? Do you have enough equity? Maybe there's a different program that you're going to qualify for. And then we're going to jump into actually the live rates that we show you guys each Wednesday when Alan and I come on here and say, okay, here's where rates are today for your specific situation. We explain to each time how we actually, our slogan is one application, one credit pool. How do we actually shop, over 30 lenders? And there it is. So here's what we want to start with. If you guys would give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. And also, let me know where you are. But the biggest thing I want to know is the government, is it going to be prolonged? Do you think we're that far apart as a government at this point that we can't get a couple people to swing over for just a gap? I think the gap right now is like 70 days. That's what we need a stop gap for. So, put your comments down below if you would. But let's get over to where rates are. Rates, they move just down just a little bit. Here's what we're facing as a society when we come to these rates, or as an economy. Look at the deficit. It's still record highs and growing. I think we still have a $2 trillion deficit. So am I happy about that? No. We got tariffs. Tariffs, are they going to be deemed illegal? Well, if they're deemed illegal, the deficit's only going to jump from there another trillion or two. So there's a huge headwind in front of us that's not good news. The jobs market's deteriorating. You still have, there's a huge divide, and we see it here as well. The people that have money with good credit, they're kind of doing anything they want right now. It's those that are struggling are really struggling. And so I want to help you guys, and I'm not trying to put you in more debt. I'm just saying here's some ideas just to let you know or understand how the refinance process works. So first, let's go over, and I want to make sure you can qualify with the right program. So we created a calculator, and this is going to be live. We're recreating our whole everything, folks. So down to RateWatch 2.0 that I'll go over here with you guys in a second, to all kind of different triggers that I'll be in control of. So don't be surprised one day if you get a call from me, if you sign up for any of our systems of, hey, your RateWatch just triggered, let's go over your savings with you. But let's start with this. The first thing is, what do you do with the refinance? One of the biggest questions I have or have been getting is, and I'd love to know your questions, is how soon can I refinance? And we have a lot of disparity there, I guess is the best way to put it. We'll have borrowers come in and say, I just talked to my person. They said we have to wait 60 days. And then another one said we have to make 6 payments. And then another one said, well, we can't do anything for a year. I've heard them all. So let me break this down for you. And we're going to go through it in this eligibility estimator for you guys as well. But in most cases, you can refinance. Well, in conventional loans, you can refinance pretty much the day after. So a lot of times what you'll do is take advantage of those builder credits, and we're going to use those to do a temporary buy down, things like that. So check out some of the videos I have on my channel. But what we want to really talk about right now is what programs do you really qualify for? So let's jump into this, and I'll put this calculator. It will be I'll post it on our website here shortly. This might be up for sale because we put a lot of work in this. You'll get it if you're a realtor or if you're a loan officer. You understand the value of this product. So here, let's go through it. What we're going to try to understand is you're going to put in your criteria, and then you're going to find out which programs would you actually be eligible for? And then we're going to dive into it and see, what those programs, what the differentials are. So you might have had bad credit when you bought your house, so you got an FHA loan. That FHA loan, you might even put some money down, maybe 10% or so. You bought the house, made payments on time, everything's good, and your credit scores really went up there. Does it make sense to refinance? Well, it might not. So let's just go through the eligibility calculator. And again, this will be available to you soon, but these are some of the things that we help you with when you set up a consultation with us. So let's go through this product with you first. We're going to make this one pretty simple. We're going to go through and say I have a 700, and we get a lot of these right now. It is amazing. 780 credit scores, and we're looking at the average purchase right now is about $375,000. Believe it or not, I make let's say 6,000. Let's start this one out at let's go real high, $8,000 a month. That's pretty good income. Down payment. It's $15,000. You can do this. We're trying to change this is right through here is trying to do also where you can choose a percentage, because a lot of times you're like, oh, what percentage is that? So we're going to try to make a button over here where you can choose percentage or the amount of money you're looking to put down. All these questions are actually relevant when you're trying to figure out what mortgage program you qualify for, because the house size matters, like USDA. It matters what your income is and how many family members you have. What your income is hugely matters as well, and I'm going to show you how it works in this calculator. So then we're going to go down through here, and we're going to say the house size on this one is 4. We're looking to buy a new home. Well, let's go in this one. We're looking to refinance. So really, in this one, I just want to refinance, just trying to get me a better rate. We're going to go down through here, my total monthly recurring payments with your new PITI. What the PITI is your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. This is your total monthly recurring debt, excluding your mortgage payment. Okay, so I have a $500 car payment and a $200 credit card payment. So I have $700 in monthly debt. This is going to be the refinance my primary home, and you have multiple choices here, so make sure you're choosing the right one. Your estimated monthly PITI. What that is your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Monthly estimated for new property. Well, this is a refinance, so what is your monthly payment? So you're going to put in here, let's say it is $3,000, okay? Single family. So now here's what it's going to tell us. It's going to do all the calculations, figure out your debt ratio, figure your loan to value, everything else that you put the information on. And then we're going to go down through here and say, what programs would you be eligible for? Well, there's other coding in here that's going to really be helpful for you, because when you're putting in your income, if you're eligible for any of these products through here, like there is price considerations for if you're in a moderate to low income area. So how do you check that? Well, you're just going to go into here. You're going to look it up through here. So you just click here, go in and put your zip code in. It'll tell you yes, you qualify, or no, you don't. So if you go through here and find out yes, you qualify, click yes, you qualify. You're looking for a USDA. We'll say in this case we're not looking for a USDA. No income is no. First time home buyer. Nope. This is a refinance. Eligible VA for eligibility. No, I'm not VA eligible. Property is in the U.S. Nope, I'm not in the U.S. area. I'm not 62 years old. No. You're going to answer some other questions through here. Like, for examples, some people, you're looking for what's called a DSCR loan. And if you're looking for one, you know what a DSCR loan is. Okay, so that's what that is. So those are for if you're an investor. You can qualify basically with just lease income. So there's a whole bunch of different, options over through here. We're going to make this one simple. So based on that information, we're going to go down through here. So this one's telling us, okay, you're eligible for what programs? Pretty cool. It says conventional. You could be possibly eligible. Your debt ratio is a little bit high, but other than that, you basically should be okay. FHA, you betcha. You qualify on all tiers. VA, you don't qualify. Why? Let me go right down through here. You're not a veteran. Okay, we'll scroll down. USDA, no, we said we weren't USDA in a zone there. Home ready, home possible. Well, based on that 80% income that you have, and you did it on the search engine in the map, it's saying you're eligible for these. This is fantastic because you're going to probably get a better rate under these programs. You keep scrolling down, the 1% down program, well, it was a purchase. It's not a purchase, so that should not be coming up. I'll go up there and fix that. Bank statements, DSCRs, ineligible. So it pretty much breaks it all down for you there. Let's just make a couple changes so I can show you kind of how this works. So let's go back to the top, and let's say, for example, this one is the credit score. Let's go, we've got a 740 credit score. All right, let's go in this one. Our income is that. We'll do basically everything the same thing. Go down through here, other than, let's take this out and say no, okay? And go over here and say, well, you know what? Yes, I am VA eligible. So what's my eligibility now? Well, you go down through here and here's what it's looking at. Now it's saying, okay, conventional. Yeah, you're still probably on the brink of getting qualified because of your debt ratio, but now you fit FHA. Now you also fit VA. And then go down through here and you're going to just fit the other ones. You should be, that one should be 620 or I'll have to check on this one. This should be eligible. Oh, no, we didn't. You're not eligible for that. Why? I've been caught myself there. Is because you didn't fit the mapping system. You weren't eligible for this program because you weren't at 80% of your area median income. I know it's confusing. That's why we're doing this on here. And I'm also saving it, or you can rewatch this on a YouTube channel. Let's go to the next thing we got here. So that's basically how the calculator works. And then you can do all kind of other things with it. So this is one of the things we use on our consultations. Okay, so now let's get over to why are you here? Okay, so let's dive into should you refinance? How does it make sense? What I want to dive into, though, is going back through how long do you have to wait? So let's start from square one. With a conventional loan, you can refinance kind of day one. Okay, and I won't say kind of, but you can go off of, day one, you can refinance as long as you're doing a rate and term. Basically, you're not trying to pull out any money. If you're doing an FHA or VA loan, you have to make 6 payments. Okay, that's the rules. Don't really know why, but you have to make 6 payments. After 6 payments, you're eligible to do a refinance. What I'd highly suggest you do is look into the streamlined programs that we have for those type of loans. So if you have a VA loan or an FHA loan, reach out to us for a consultation. We can do that consultation with you and explain to you kind of basically what we're going to do here. Okay, so let's dive into this. The biggest concern a lot of people have now is, well, when I bought that house, those fees were nuts. So I'm going to have to wait. If I'm going to pay $10,000, $12,000 in fees and I'm saving $300 a month, why would I even bother? I get what you're saying. But what I want to show you is your fees when you refinance, they're normally a fraction. And in most cases, a fraction of what they were when you purchased the house. So let's do a demonstration. So here's what I want to look at. We just ran a scenario of that. We're going to run one of an FHA person with a 680 credit score. They're looking to do a streamlined refinance. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, so this is basically the search engine that we go through each day. And this is how we basically run your loan. When I have that slogan, one application, one credit pool, or shop your loan over 30 different lenders. This is what we do. So this is what Alan and I go over each Wednesday live with people. So if you want to join us and we can run your rates, but this is what we do when you also set up with our RateWatch 2.0 tool. And I'll get to that in a second. So let's get over to this one, and this is going to be a refinance. I just want to figure out what the rate's going to be. So I'm going to plug all the details in there. This is going to be an FHA loan. We're going to do a streamlined refinance, meaning you don't need an appraisal done in almost all cases, and we don't even need to re-verify your income. So let's say, for example, you were off a couple months and things are getting real tight. You're back to work, and you might not qualify with this program. We don't have to re-verify your income. Basically, what they're saying is you're paying on time now. You haven't missed any payments with us. So if we're going to lower your rate and lower your payments, well, we'll just go ahead and do the paperwork and get you set up in that new loan. So that's what we do with these streamlined programs. So let's get over to this one and just see, what kind of rate you're looking at, and we'll go from there, and we'll go to the next step so I can show you what that looks like. So here's what we do. We click the button, and this is now going to run most of the investors that we use. And like I said, we use over 30 different lenders to make sure we're getting you the lowest rates and the lowest fees basically in the business. Now, can you do this on your own? Yeah, if you have all day long each day to do it. But here's what it does. It's telling us right now, Loan United Wholesale. Now, I don't even know if you can go to Loan United on your own, but you cannot for sure go to Loan United Wholesale. What a wholesale is basically you have to be another bank or a broker to have access to this channel, and you have to do a lot of business and basically pass a lot of QC to get into these programs. And we get preferred rates, preferred programs, better turn times, and so forth. So that's why, in most cases, you can go through us cheaper than going to them directly. So that's why we deal on the wholesale level with, over 30 different companies when it comes to that. So here's what you're looking on this one. The rate would be 5.625, and this is a true scenario. And your fee would be you're getting at that rate, you'd get $411 back in credits. Okay, so let's remember that, 5.625. So I created Johnny Test. Okay, so he's looking to refinance, and this is an FHA loan. So let me blow this up so you guys can see this. Okay, so this is the program. If you put in an application with us, on this one, you can I invite borrowers through here, and you have access to this program on your own. Once you complete your application, and you work with us behind the scenes and help us finish this and get you all the way from application to closing. So what I'm going to do is with Johnny Test, we're going to put in a $335,000 home value. He needs 95% financing for $318,250. We're just doing a rate and term. Here, let's do this as a streamline without appraisal. Make it really simple. It's a rate and term. That's rate and term. And we will save those changes. So here's what I want to show you guys. It's saving. Hold on. So what we do then is we go over to our pricing engine. It's basically the same thing as this, but not as robust. So a lot of times we have to override the system. So then we go through and we populate all the data in and everything else. So then what pops up is this. Okay, so now this is really where you want to pay attention to. These are the fees. Okay, so in this case, I didn't do anything yet. What I wanted to show you was what these fees would be for somebody looking to buy this house. Okay, so in this case, I just want you to show, I can't get this out of the way, but in this case, what I want you to see is up through here, and it's huge, so sorry about that, is no fees up through here. So the loan origination fee in almost all the cases when you're dealing with us up through here, and this is where a lot of the junk fees come into play, but this all can help you buy down your rate. Usually it's zero. Okay, in our case. So a lot of times when we get quotes from people, because you have a loan estimate, we have a loan estimate system on our website. You can actually, if you have a loan estimate from another lender, you can actually upload it into our site. Here, let's go over to here, right through here, loan estimate review. Actually, you can upload your loan estimate in here, and this is basically what we do. We just put your loan in here, and we show you this. We go over and put in what all their fees are going to be, and then we come to this section. And this is the place where a lot of people just miss. Because I'll say, what's your rate and what's your fees? Well, my rate's 5.5. Great. What's the fees? I don't know, but they said it's built into my loan. Okay, but you didn't answer my question. What are the fees? Okay, and then we get this. In many cases, this area through here could be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Okay, then you're going down through here, and these are all the other fees that you would incur. FHA does charge you a fee. But if you already have an FHA loan, you're looking to refinance, if you try to refinance as quick as you can, because this is prorated for the first 3 years. So the quicker you refinance, the quicker you can get that refund back. But that's going to be normal. Then you're going to go down through here, and here's the title fees, $6,000. And you're like, Dan, are you insane? And then you got another tax credits and tax county stamps and all this stuff. Well, let's do this. Let's go up through here, and I'm going to do something. Where is it? I have to save this 1 second. Let me open this. There's a tab up here that says Smart Fees. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit this button. What it's helping me do now is find a title company that will do this title for me at a cheaper fee. Because the last one, that was if we were buying our house in Illinois, that house we were looking at. Now, if we're refinancing, let's look at the fees. So remember, it was, I forget what it was, but it was insane. Let's go back through here. Remember, this was $5, $6, $7, now it's $1,100. You go down through here, that's $7,000 went away. Now, like I said, it's a fraction of what it would be. Now, this is prepaid interest. This is interest from the day of your closing through the last day of the month. So you're going to pay it in this loan or you're going to pay it in your payment. And then that's about it. So you could see where it's $1,100 versus it was $6,000 here and $7,000 here, $13,000, and it's now $1,300. So a fraction. This is 10% of what it otherwise would have been if you bought the house. So that's the reluctancy of a lot of people of doing this. And then we save it, and then it repopulates all the data. So that's the information you really want, and you really want to see, does this make sense? And that's the biggest piece of that equation. But again, if you also want to use some calculators that we have, just go to the rate update. Here it is. And if you're watching this right now, and even if you filled this out before, okay, we recreated RateWatch. We had a RateWatch tool in here. It used to say refinance. Even if you signed up for it, please sign up for this new one because it'll purge all your data and consolidate it so it makes sure that we don't have any duplicates. But what this is telling you, or you telling me, what interest rate do you want to refinance? Or at least look at the numbers, look at the fees. Okay, so you can use that tool right through there. Just hit RateWatch, and you're just going to plug in your data. But there's another one up here. It says loan estimate. Okay, so if you already have a loan estimate from another lender and you want us to take a look at it, just upload it right into this system. Okay, there it is. What we're going to do is we're going to shop your loan. We're going to compare it to over 30 different lenders in this system. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're not going to show you this, but we're going to go over to this tool here. And if you go back to the website, you're going to go to all calculators. All right, used in videos. Here's one of the best calculators we have if you're looking to refinance. Now, what we're trying to create as well, along with this to be able to have this available to you guys and loan officers and even realtors out there, is a debt consolidation tool. Because a lot of people right now, you might have 3, 4, 5% interest rates, maybe 6, and you have a lot of equity in your home. And now, the kids went back to school. Everything's more expensive, with inflation and everything else. Maybe you're just buried in debt. And I'm not trying to put you in any more debt, but maybe you look at like a debt consolidation loan because a lot of those credit cards may be 28% interest rates. So it might benefit you from, paying those off in one way or another. So that's what we're trying to work on in the back end to help you, ensure you guys are getting all the tools you need to see if this stuff makes sense. And that's what we're here for as well, to set up, consultations with us and so forth. But let's get over to the refinance calculator. Just click right through here. And what you're going to do is, in this case, put in your original loan amount. Now, here's where it kind of gets a little iffy because a lot of people, what they'll put in is they'll just go in here and put in their balance. Don't do that. Make sure you put in your original loan amount because if you took out the loan 2-3 years ago, it's going to be your balance now. It's going to be less than what it was. So this one, let's say their original loan amount was $335,000. It closed, let's make this one crazy. It closed November of 2023 when the rates were 7.875. And yes, there are you folks still out there waiting on that because you're like, it costs too much to refinance or it's a pain in the butt to refinance. I'm going to show you how maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes of your time might pay off. Okay, so we have $335,000 is that loan amount, original loan amount. We're going to go down through here and say now it's not $265,000. We're going to say it's $330,000. Just saying. All right. How much is it going to cost you to refinance? Well, we went back to the last thing that we just did. So let's go back to our Johnny test. And how much is a Johnny test going to take to refinance? Well, this is going to be escrow. Let's change this to just 5 days because you're not going to have 30 days of interest. So done. Let's just make it simple. We're going to go through here and say 200, 200, 200. That's 600 plus 1,100. That's 1,700. This is going to be prorated into the system. So 1,700. Alrighty, and if you don't know why I skipped over that FHA piece, schedule a consultation so I can explain it to you. So we're going to go 1,700 is what it's going to cost them. All right, the rate is, and we're going to go to an FHA's today's rate of, where is it? 6.05. Well, we know in Johnny Test's case, we can get 5.625, so much less than they have posted on Mortgage News Daily. So 5.625. So that's that. What is my savings? I would save I hope you guys can hear me. I know I keep turning my head. You would save over $500 a month. This is a typical loan, folks. And I hope you're not waiting for even lower rates, because in this case, look at this. Your break-even point is 3 months. So if the Federal Reserve it keeps reducing rates and then everything else kind of falls in place. Remember, just because the Federal Reserve is reducing rates doesn't mean mortgage rates are going down. Take this opportunity for mayhem all over the place and a feeding frenzy in the markets right now. People are buying bonds. They're buying stocks. They're buying crypto. People are just buying everything right now. And it feels like COVID. And at the beginning of COVID, it was a little scary. And then all of a sudden, remember there was, the ETFs or those things that you could create and sell. They haven't even had digital real estate and stuff like that. And people were just buying it like crazy. And it was like, what happened? And then, all of a sudden, here, let me show you. Let me just show you. We won't go there. You're here for these rate sheets or not. If you ever concerned about that, go back to look at the consumer disposable income chart over the last 10 years. You're going to see a huge spike during COVID. And that's basically what caused inflation. So go back to some of my videos back in those days as well. So post some questions if you would, guys. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a something here. There's a whole bunch of people here. Just, participate one way or another if you would. And let me know, here's what I really like to know. What do you guys think? Why is the markets not even being phased by government shutdown? It should be over within 2 to 3 weeks, in my opinion. Thank you, Rocky. Thank you so much. Yes, seriously. Next one is, why are you view videos in Punjabi? Why are you view videos? And I'm not in Punjabi, so I'm not quite sure about that one. So if you guys would like to reach out to me for anything that you might need, here is my down below. That is our website. That's probably the easiest way to reach out. And you can get access to all this data up through here. Let me just go through our website real quick, and then I will let you guys go. Here's our website. We have a podcast, so check out any channel out there on podcasts. I should be out there as well. Check YouTube's. Now, one of my YouTubes, it comes up as a thumbnail. It looks like it's just a YouTube video. It's actually a podcast on YouTube. I'm not sure how it gets out there, but it double posts. There's hundreds of views each day. So thank you guys for watching that. But here's our website. Here's a couple of the tools that you guys can use. If you know anybody looking to buy a house right now, and you took out a down payment assistance loan, or you thought you should have, or whatever, please point them in the right direction. You want a down payment assistance loan that you don't have to pay back, because in most cases you're going to refinance. They're going to refinance in the next 12 months. Even if your house price doesn't go down, what happens is you have to take the amount of money you financed, which in most cases is probably about 97%. You probably put down 3 or 4% when you bought the house. But then when you get a down payment assistance loan, you have to refinance that. You can't just refinance your primary home when you do a refinance when rates come down. You have to incorporate that down payment assistance loan on top of it. Most cases, you're now over 100% loan to value. Even though your house price didn't go down, think about it. You got that down payment assistance loan for some of them were $20,000, $30,000. So if you have the equity, it might be good to do. Some of those are at 0% interest rate, so it makes it really hard. This one is basically, it's free. You walk out of the closing, no payments, no liens on your property or anything like that. So that's one of the ones, that you might want to look into. Another thing is here, the RateWatch tool. We just revamped this thing, and I was just finished it this morning. So if you're new to the channel, if you're out there and you're like, hey, Dan, I don't know when to refinance, just click this right through here. Put in your mortgage information. Grab your mortgage statement. Fill out the data. Okay, we don't sell the data. I promise you we don't sell the data. I will be monitoring this in the back end. When your rate triggers, so let's say, for example, you're looking at your mortgage statement, you're like, okay, I owe $300,000, my rate's 7.25%. I don't know, hell, let's go to here. When rates get to 6.25%, let's go through it. And what we're going to do is we're not going to pester you. We're just going to reach out to you and say, okay, here's what your numbers look like. Here's what your fees are. Here's your savings. Here's what our numbers are showing. You let me know if you think it makes sense. But in this case, I'd be locking in all day long. So that's what we do. So check out the RateWatch tool. It's right through here. Just fill out your information, and then don't be surprised if, tomorrow or a week or two from now you get a call, text, or an email from me saying, hey, congratulations, your RateWatch just triggered, and let's go over your fees, your costs, your break even, and see if it makes sense. So that's our video for today, folks. I will be back at the closing bell here shortly. It doesn't look like there's really much going on out there, so take this opportunity to use some of the bad news data that we had yesterday, the jobs report, that really helped the markets basically say, Fed, you said you were concerned about the jobs reports, and the jobs reports from yesterday was dismal. So based on that, I think there's almost 100% chance they're cutting at this meeting, and unless we get some data in the next couple weeks, they're probably going to be forced to have to cut at the next meeting. So it might be prolonged cuts. If you look right down below, right behind where that RateWatch was, or my name, the 10-year yield just hit under 4.1. So if we can close at 4% or lower, it's going to be good news for interest rates. So check out or put your information into the RateWatch tool so you don't miss it this time like you might have missed it last time. So that's it for today, folks. If you would let me know where you're coming from. Oh, man, all of a sudden we got a whole bunch of clicks. All right, I will stick around. Let's get to some of your questions out there. You are kind enough to ask, and I'll be here to answer those for you. Can I refinance if I have a few late payments? In most cases, no, but if you could clarify it. Are late payments on your mortgage or late payments on something? So if you can answer that, and were they within the last 6 months or were they the prior 6 months? I need 12 months of how that payment was. So if you can post that, I'll see if I can get back down to your question down below, but I'm just going to keep clicking away. Who do we got? Thank you so much. Hi, Dan. I purchased in March of this year and looked into refinance. To confirm, y'all can walk through some scenarios with us, showing you that absolutely. So just you can give us a call. I'll just, if you go to the website right through here at the top, you can give us a call right through here. Alan will be picking up as I'm live. Alan will be picking up, or you can ask Dan right here, or just hit the RateWatch and put in your information. But if you want us to talk to me, just click right here. I'd be more than happy to call you or text you. Most likely I'll text you just to make sure you have the time or I'm not interfering with your job. And I'd be more than happy to go over that with you and just even send me your mortgage statement. But yeah, reach out to us. I'd love to help you out if we can. So thanks for being on here as well. Let's get to the next question that we got. Thank you. This topic was very helpful. When it comes time to pull the trigger, I'll contact you. Again, if you want to put in your information in the RateWatch, I'll monitor that for you. It's going to be an AI system in the background, so every time your rate hits, right where you want it to be, we'll be reaching out to you. In most cases, it's going to be me. So a lot of people, sometimes they're like, "Oh my goodness, it's you calling." Yeah, it'll be me calling. Let's get to the next question. How would a cash out work into a refinance? Well, that's good. Let's answer that question for you. So the first thing we want to do is go over to the pricing engine, because it will be give you some hits there. So let's go over, and what we're going to do is create a new search. Well, let's just go back and modify this search. So let's say for this example, you can't go over 80. So we're going to get an 80% loan to value. And then in this case, we're going to do a rate cash out, and we're looking for, let's say, $15,000 in cash. All right. Up through here, we're going to keep everything the same. Just keep it the same. It's pretty simple. We just change it from refinance to cash out. Click it. And I'm not sure if you were concerned about the rate or the fees or things like that. Still fantastic. This one, 5.625 on a cash out refinance with what was the credit score? The credit score was 680. So kind of the same thing. If you're looking for conventional, I would just run it as a conventional. And so, but the information that we need from you when you're requesting, it's all on the RateWatch triggers. And this is, again, Alan and I do this each Wednesday. We do it live with you, and what we ask for you, and get prepped for next week's live, or just send us an Ask Dan or reach out, call Alan, and this is exactly, you can jump right in the front of the line and just say, hey, here's all my information. What we're working on as well is a data file down below where you can trust, and you can upload your mortgage statement, and we can do a personalized mortgage analysis for you. So that's also in the works behind the scenes, phones, because we know you're busy, and we're just trying to do analysis behind that. That made sense. Analysis behind the screen. So thanks for that. Let's go through. You guys are piling up, so I'm going to try to do my best. If I miss you, I am so sorry. Let's go through this one. Thank you so much. I think I did this one. That was the refinance. So hopefully that answers your question. Again, hopefully you can see the screen. If you can't, please just schedule a consultation. This is exactly, it's going to be with me or Alan. So this is exactly what we do. We just ask you questions, fill in the blanks. We'll answer any questions for you that you might have. Houston, Texas on the board. Hey, the Bears, what about the Bears and the Cowboys last week, huh? Just saying. Thank you. You are more than welcome. What do we got here? Please add condo checkbox in your RateWatch tool. As I walked over the phone last week, the numbers were as we talked over the phone. I will do that. Thank you so much. I actually just created that. You are right, because when we did talk, it made a completely different analysis. So thank you so much for pointing that out. Yep. What he was looking to do was refinance, but I didn't know it was a condominium. And on the sheet that we created, and I didn't create it yet. Well, I created it, but I'm going to have to add that entry level in there because it does affect your rate. On mortgage past 6 months, yeah, you're gonna have. If it was one time, it was a couple times. Unfortunately, there's just the underwriting is tight, and that's why back in what happened with the crash back in 2008, everybody points to is you'd have no problem getting a loan. You could probably get a loan for 100% loan to value because the underwriting standards were that bad. And that's what happened. Then what they did is they put people into these loans that were negative amortization, meaning your payments weren't even enough to pay the principal or the interest on the loan. So meaning you weren't even making interest payments on the loan. But then once it really adjusted, which would be 12 to 24 months, a lot of people's mortgage payments doubled and tripled. So they couldn't afford the house. So that's what caused the housing crash of 2008. What you have in today's market is you have people locked in. They're not selling their homes. They're locked in. Like I have a 2.6% rate on my house. I don't prepay it because I put the extra money in the market. And looking at today between Bitcoin and all the ETFs and bonds, pretty nice day going on. But that's what's happening. So will the housing market crash? There's no crash. I talk to people all over, even in Texas and Florida. Is it crashing? No. Is there a pullback? Yeah. But a crash is, I don't know if you watched yesterday's video, I think I did, a crash in the stock market, back in the previous times that we had crashes, you saw the overall stocks dropped 50%. And you had the markets where they had the bubbles in real estate, some were 50, 60% drops. So when you have all these people coming out each day saying, the housing market's going to crash, don't buy and don't refinance, and you're never going to be able to refinance and things like that, unless you're in a market that I just don't know of, I don't see any market dropping 50 or 60%, even in the Florida markets where they're saying they're terrible, and in the Texas markets. So, if you'd like to rebut that, you're more than happy to. I don't know your local areas. But I'm just giving you feedback. I've been doing this for over 30 years. That's what we're trying to create all this. And I'm truly looking to just make this an educational channel where, the back staff, they'll help you with those mortgages. But my whole concern is, getting you to understand the markets. And I do Stock Talk Tuesdays, and I don't mean to promote that right here, but I'm not a stockbroker. I don't have a license in it. I'm not telling you what to do. I do it to help you out. It's educational and entertainment. But I hopefully can help you understand what an ETF is. Do you invest in Bitcoin? Folks, I'm a dad, I'm a husband. I'm just trying to help you guys out. So if I can be of any help to you guys when it comes to a mortgage, I'd love to help you there. But if you're looking just economics, I'd love to help you as well there. So if you're a realtor out there, please reach out to us. We'd love to partner with you and see if we can help get more and more of your clients at least educated and into programs that might make sense for them. You can see how here, just going from an FHA loan to a conventional loan, or just, even if you qualify with that 80% median income qualifier, you can even get a rate that's quarter, maybe sometimes 3/8 better better than what you would have otherwise had. And if your loan officer didn't know, or they forgot to click a button or whatever, they're going to miss it. So we're not here to try to steal business from people. We're just trying to keep everybody in check. So if you got any loan estimates out there you want us to review, please go to the website and do that. If you're out there and you have a mortgage right now and you're watching this video, please go to our website and make sure you sign up for that new RateWatch. I don't care if you've already done it. Please do this one, because this was on steroids. What it'll do is it'll override your old data, get you set up right into our campaigns, so you're getting updates, and at least you're staying on our radar. So thanks for watching, folks. I will be back later today with the closing bell to let you know how this ends for the day. But markets are all in the green. Bond market's doing okay. Mortgage rates really aren't moving much. So take advantage of these.